Tony, we're in this beautiful town of Roanoke.
I love this town.
This is going to be so much fun today.
Shopping.
Great place to find candy here.
Yeah,
A couple places.
tea room.
Fish right across the street.
Boutique.
I love this town.
Where are the other guys?
Here they come right now.
What is this?
Oh my gosh. What is this?
Wait. What are you guys doing? Hey, wait. Did you see the car?
Yeah, what is this?
Mike, where did you get this?
Well,
this is amazing.
Grand Marshal.
Tell us about this
Grand
car.
Marshals.
Wait, how did you get this car?
Well, we're not going to talk about the details of how we got it, but it's a 1986 Rolls-Royce Cornish 2. This is one of the most beautiful cars you're ever going to see on the street. It was manufactured from 1986 to 1989. And there were only 3,000 Rolls Royces in that time.
And you have one of them.
That had a convertible top on it. So this is one of the most beautiful cars you'll ever see. It's a piece of history.
So what's
right here.
Cornish mean?
Cornish is named after a seaside road that ran all the way from France down to Monaco Beach. It's one of the most beautiful and picturesque streets that you would ever be able to drive on.
This is gorgeous, but guys, we got to get started. This is late. You guys are running
I'm taking some of this cake.
What are you doing?
Yeah, some more of those
Grand Marshal. We want to be Grand Marshals and parade. Bring the car. All they're interested in is the car.
Welcome to Between the Studs. We are Granite Ridge Builders, custom builders serving northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and also parts of southern Michigan. We have been building custom homes for almost 2 decades, and we're really passionate about what we do. So join us today as we explore the processes, the trends, and also tips that characterize today's new home. Thanks for watching.
What a, oh man, what a
Look
bar.
at it, look at this. This is the most iconic hood ornament of all time. Mike, what is this?
So, Tony, that's actually called the Spirit of Ecstasy. It is the logo or the hood ornament that you'll see on every single Rolls-Royce vehicle.
That's just gorgeous.
This is an amazing car, guys, but we got to start the show.
Yeah.
We are here in Roanoke, and we have been featuring small town and small communities that are absolutely amazing. Today we get to feature Roanoke. And my favorite is going to be the history. We're going to talk a little bit about the native Indian history. It is so rich in Roanoke, and that is going to be Kilsequaw. She was the granddaughter of the famous Little Turtle, so don't miss that. What else would you say that the reason we're going to feature Roanoke and Huntington today?
Well, we got to talk about the park. Just a few blocks away from here, there's a 25-acre park, and it has some of the best facilities as far as baseball diamonds, tennis courts, pavilions. So it's really a nice park here in this town.
Well, I know you lost your basketball in Cow Creek, which is right next to I'm glad it wasn't Cow Patties.
One of the most important things when you're talking about a town is location. We have I-69 running right down the road. We're 3 miles away from there. 24 runs through Huntington County, and we're only 10 minutes away from the airport. So everything around you is going to get you where you need to go.
Well, of course, we love to talk about small towns, and so Roanoke is a wonderful one, and it's very unique because for a small town, it's not often that you find 4-star restaurants, that you find all kinds of little shops. This is an amazing, iconic little town.
Hey, just look down the street, guys. This is pretty.
Beautiful.
And not only is this a beautiful small town, this is also one of the most well-known towns in the entire world from Indiana, because it's not only Roanoke, but Roanoke Incorporated, which is the home of WOWO Radio, and I'll go into a lot more detail about that later.
Wait, speaking of Roanoke, does anybody know where the name Roanoke came from? Remember I said it has a real rich native Indian history?
Yeah.
Roanoke came from Roanoke, Virginia. They named it after that, but the word is Roanoke. And that really is Roanoke, interpreted in our English language. So it is very rich history.
Interesting. Well, we're standing in front of Joseph Decuis. This is just one of the many restaurants here that we're going to talk about. And this is really world renowned. But Roanoke is also a very family friendly community. They have a lot of different things that go on here. They have the Roanoke Festival, Taste of Roanoke. They have a wonderful farmers market, and then Christmas in the village.
And parades, but we know
Parades,
the Grand
yeah.
Marshals are not.
Got this. We want to be your Grand Marshals.
And for such a great little town, there's awesome shopping, a little tea shop, and the candy store, all sorts of things. You really want to come. You can spend a whole day here just walking the streets, the shops, the food. It is an amazing place to come and have a great day.
And Roanoke has a population of about 1,800, and it is known for a 4-star elementary school and also housing, all kinds of affordable housing and housing opportunities here. And Granite Ridge Builders has been a part of the housing development and boom here for over 2 decades.
Yeah, Lonnie, we've already built almost 300 homes in this community alone. We're now featuring 43 more and you've got to come down and see these. But stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this show. We're going to be talking about history and a lot of talking about food, I think. In fact, Wagyu beef is going to be
It's hard to find a better steak.
Can I drive the car? Can I drive the car?
I don't think so, Lonnie.
You know, Luke, we talked about Roanoke having this rich history as it relates to the Indian times and so on. They even have an historical museum here, right here next to us.
Right, and speaking of history, these artifacts you were holding, where'd you get these?
Well, we kind of borrowed them from the museum.
They know it? They know it?
That lady doesn't look like she knew that.
You might want to get along. You might want to get along.
Okay.
I guess we can return them.
Man, Luke, take a look at this mural that kind of depicts the history here in Roanoke. That's a neat card, too.
Yeah, I like going to these small towns and looking at all these murals, and I think our Rolls Royce would look real good in this photo, don't
It
you?
really would, yeah.
Now, one thing I've noticed just spending some time here in Roanoke and Huntington County is you can just see how much nature there is here, and it's easy to see why the Miami Indians use this place as a hunting grounds.
Right, and this is the birthplace and home of Kilsaquah, who was the last Indian princess. She was part of the Miami tribe. She was born in this area, maybe Markle or this area, and she lived to 105 years old.
Wow.
And it's said at her 100th birthday, there was over 15,000 in attendance.
15,000, but there's only 1,800 people that live here in
Figure
Roanoke,
that
so
one
that's
out.
pretty
Figure
incredible.
that one out.
I see
Yeah,
her name
yeah.
just all over different plaques,
Right.
different ponds, parks. So she had obviously, she's like a local celebrity here.
She was,
Yeah.
she was.
It wasn't until 1838 that they surveyed the first road. They called it the Fort Wayne Road, and it's really because it's pretty close, centrally located, kind of
really
between
is.
Huntington and Fort Wayne. So really a great location.
About 10 miles in both directions.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And then 1850 is when the Wabash Erie Canal came through here, and that kind of changed things here for this small town.
This became an incredible trading point along the Erie Canal. You're right.
Right. And then somewhere in there, they also established their first post office.
So yes, it became a town area with a post office, but it wasn't until 1873 that they actually incorporated and became the town of Roanoke.
Now, Lonnie, there used to be a Coil Factory here in downtown Roanoke.
Right.
And what makes that special was during World War II, the Coil Factory played a huge part in that war. And it employed 400 people at one point, and that was mostly of women and high schoolers. And it was rumored to have been said that Hitler had it on his list as places that he wanted to wipe out because he knew how important it was to the American in the war.
Also, WOWO is not located too far from here, and that was on his hit list as well, I think.
Right. And then it was in 1967 that the Coil Factory closed down, and then a Huntington business owner bought it, and he started what they call a pick-a-nut. Now, not like peanuts or almonds, it was pick-a-nuts that were used for like washers and bolts and things like that. So builders used that. And then it closed down, and really you can still see the chimney from Main Street here of the old Coil Factory. So that played a huge part in Roanoke.
And Roanoke continued to be a very peaceful place to live. And then in the 1990s, it went through a major revitalization downtown. Just things began to really change because it became a very popular destination point for shopping and eating, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and you can still see the historical value and the preservation that they did as you're walking down Main Street here. So they were able to capture that beauty that was once there, and it's made a great town.
Also, Gene Hartley, he was an Indianapolis 500 driver. He drove 10 years in the Indianapolis 500, about 5,000 miles all total. He was from Roanoke, died here as well.
Yeah. Well, let's do some more exploring. There's some more to see. Yeah, let's go.
Well, as we said at the beginning of the show, small town living is so important to our community, and so we really want to talk about why small town living is so important and why it's become so popular.
Yeah, 60 million people live in farm, small town communities, so that's 1 out of every 5. Farmers keep this country running. If they're not doing their thing, we don't eat.
Absolutely. And it's really become a popular trend. A lot of urbanites are trying to choose a roomier, a less expensive way of living than where they were at, largely due to the pandemic.
Yeah, that pandemic really led people into remote working, so they were able to work from home a lot more, had their computers and mobile things like that. So they wanted to flee the city a little bit. It costs so much to live in a big city, move out to the country, and you can live on that salary for a lot less per dollar.
Absolutely. And there's so many features that we really love to talk about when it comes to small town living. I love small town living because I can walk more instead of drive. You feel like a tight-knit community and you can get involved a little bit more.
Yeah, when I grew up in a small town, I would go to the local restaurant. I know the people who own it. I would leave that restaurant, go to the ice cream shop, and I also knew who owned it there. So you're walking by people that you know, you're saying hi to your friends, your neighbors, and you're just seeing, you know who you're supporting in a small town community like
You
that.
sound like a Hallmark movie that I watch every single day, and I love it. That's why I love small towns.
Now, speaking of ice cream, Kayla, I saw a shop over here. I think we need to try it out.
All
real
right,
quick.
let's go. I love that.
So as we've talked about before, the Coil Factory was a big part of the community here, and of course the reason is because those coils were used for starters for engines and with magnets and a lot of things that were very valuable to the Army back then. And that same building has continued to be a big part of Roanoke.
And Roanoke is really having a boom right now. This is a great destination. And we can thank the Eichelman family because in 1989, they came to our area and they started a sports and entertainment insurance company called American Specialty. They occupied that building and used up about 28,000 square feet. So they came and other businesses have opened since then. Now what happened when they came, they would entertain people from all around the world and the United States, and they had no place to eat that was close by. That is how this all evolved, the Joseph Decuis restaurant and Emporium. Now this restaurant all started with a lot of history. So the Eichelman's ancestor, who was Joseph Decuis, his grandfather came to the New World in about 1720. Now how he ate, he would hunt his food. So wild food, it was, he would cook it so it was fresh, farm to fork, and that's kind of their signature, farm to fork. So they have named all of this after him. So there's a lot of rich history, and you'll even notice their logo. This was Joseph Decuis' signature from his last will and testament in 1882.
And they're famous for lots of food here, but some of the ones that are most notable are going to be the Wagyu beef, which Wa is Japanese, Gyu is cattle, and so you've got the Japanese cattle, and that's what they're very famous for. So another one of the products that they're very famous for is the Magalitsa Pig, which is something that was from Hungarian, from a royal family there. So it's something that almost went extinct when the family passed. The farmers, though, have kind of rescued it and really started breeding it again. It's become a very great delicacy here in our area.
Now this is a great restaurant, but there's also others here in Roanoke that you can visit. So if you want some ice gelato, I should say, Moose and Molly's is a great stop. We have the Village Inn, which is right across the street. Another fantastic and unique place is the Parker Grace Tea Room. So you can go there and have a nice brunch or something in the afternoon and sip some tea.
That's where we got all of our candy from this morning as well.
Yes, if you head upstairs, Spoonful of Sugar is a delight. So there is a lot of unique candies in there. These are candies that may be from your childhood. I know that my mom walks in there and there are things from her childhood that you can't go to any other store. So that's another great destination. Now, Izzy, what do you have here?
Well, we talked about Joseph Decuis being famous and a Triple Crown champion, and this is evidence of it right here. So, you know, again, not only are we talking about just great small town flavor, but it's also world-renowned flavor. So this is one of those things I've always wanted as a child to see if I could. Do you think they'd mind if I
Let me
put this
try
on?
it. And it was the marbling, right?
The marbling? Oh, there's Triple Crown.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I can really go for a steak right about now.
Okay, welcome to Joseph Decuis Wagyu Farm. I'm Pete Eschelman, the owner, and what you see out here are full-blood Wagyu, 100% Wagyu. We bought our genetics from Mr. Shogo Takeda from Hokkaido, Japan, and all of these cows out here are pregnant, and we're going to have calves this fall. And what makes Wagyu so special, these animals have the genetic capacity to create marbling or fat in the muscle, and that creates the tenderness and the tremendous flavor. It's considered the finest tasting beef in the world, and the fat in the muscle is like salmon fat. It's good for you. So the Japanese trace this breed back 20,000 years, believe it or not. And 200 years ago, when the Japanese government allowed the Japanese people to eat meat during the Meiji Restoration, maybe over 200 years. They took native cattle that basically hauled rocks out of mines, logs out of forests, worked in the rice fields, and they turned them into animals for meat consumption. And so they invented this breed over 200 years ago. And during the Clinton administration, there was a protocol that allowed for the legal exportation of Wagyu genetics. America took advantage of that, so did Australia, and now there are about 30 countries in the world raising Wagyu outside of Japan.
Hi, Tony. We've talked a little bit about the history of Roanoke. Now let's dive into the history of the courthouse of Huntington County here a little bit.
You know, Huntington County is such a great, rich history. And we do need to expand more about what is all around the Roanoke area. You were telling me a little story about the initial Huntington County courthouse.
Yeah, the initial courthouse was, it was the first brick courthouse having 2 stories in a basement. It was the sheriff's office in there as well, and there were some cells and some donjons in there as well. It was a relatively small one by today's standards, but you know, that was the original one here in Huntington County.
And then they blew up. Huntington County is one of the few areas that has a courthouse district. So when we're looking at the Huntington County Courthouse and the district, we're talking about 103 different buildings. We're talking about 3 different structures, and it's really cool because they've got it all set up so that you have different architectural styles. You have the Italian age, you have the Queen Anne, you have the Romanesque revival in there, neoclassical. There's just so many different things that they have in that whole historic courthouse district.
And they've done a really good job landscaping it and make it pretty from the outside. Speaking of the outside, Tony, we have a 4-story courthouse that is made from Bedford limestone and concrete. There's a narrow portico on each side that has arched columns going up above it that reach from the base floor up to the top of the 2nd floor. Now there's a little balcony on the top of the 2nd floor. Okay, now from that balcony on the top of the 2nd floor, we have 8 Corinthian columns that run all the way to the top of the building on the 4th floor. So on top of that, there are pediments that have clocks on each side of the tower. Those are beautiful. Now to cap that building off, we have a domed structure on the top that it has a black roof, and then it has a white cupola on the top of it as well.
And when you're looking at those from the outside, it's amazing, but wait until you step onto the inside of this. We are talking about a lot of marble. Yeah. We have marble wainscoting. We have a marble staircase. We have stained glass windows going all in this rotunda area on the inside of it. You know, Tony and I have our ongoing thing where we're seeing who can make the most county courthouse visits to study the architecture, and everyone needs to come down to Huntington and check out this whole county courthouse district area. One of the highlights, I think, of actually us being able to do Between the Studs is going out, getting out of the office and going and visiting these small towns and these counties and being able to see what makes Northeast Indiana so great. And Huntington County and City is one of the great examples.
Absolutely.
Huntington's about 388 square miles. Yeah. It's roughly 17,000 people that make up the county. You have the county itself, which was formed in 1834, and then the city of Huntington came about 6 years later, and that was about 1843.
Now, did you know that Huntington County is also called the Lime City, or Huntington City is also called Lime City? I didn't know why, but interestingly enough, they were known for their limestone quarries and kilns. So in 1845, it had the first kiln, and by 1885, there were 31 kilns just in this surrounding area. So that is definitely why it'd be known as the Limestone City.
The name Huntington is derived from Samuel Huntington. He was a judge, a politician, a patriot in the American Revolution. Samuel Huntington is also known for being the 3rd governor of Connecticut and the 7th president of the Continental Congress.
In Huntington County, there are 5 towns or cities that are most well known. We have Roanoke, Huntington, Warren, Andrews, and Mount Etna.
And Roanoke unincorporated.
I didn't see that on the list.
Well, this is one of those really strange ones because Roanoke unincorporated is here because of WOWO radio.
Okay.
WOWO kicked off around 1923. It's what they call a 50,000 watt superpower. It was at the time. And because of that, no matter what, that station had to be on the air. It was there for any emergency broadcast systems with any kind of weather related emergency anywhere east of the Mississippi River.
Okay.
So they had to have that there, and they had to have their own incorporation. And part of a radio station is they have to legally, every hour, talk about what city their studio is in and what city their tower is in. And the tower for WOWO is just located right here on 24, just outside of Roanoke, in a little area called Roanoke Unincorporated.
Well, that is very cool. And what's also awesome is that this area is well known for its school system. So in this area, the elementary school has a 4-star rating. There are several amazing elementary schools and middle schools here, but then it's also known for Huntington University. Huntington University is a college that is known for the arts programs. They have several different degrees available. I think 70 different degrees available there. It's a very awesome college to go to.
But there's a lot of very famous people that have come from the Huntington area. One of the most notables is Dan Quayle.
Yep.
He was our vice president for years. Still can't spell potato from what I understand, but I might be wrong. We have Chris Schenkel. Chris was a nationwide sports broadcaster. He was one of the first broadcasters on ESPN because he primarily did bowling, and that was the first live sport that they did on ESPN. And then I know you're a little young for this, Mick Mars, guitarist for Motley Crue, right here in Huntington County.
How crazy is that? And the last thing that I don't want to forget is that this area started the 911 emergency response system.
Yes.
Out of all the places, it started right here. So I think there are some really amazing facts and awesome things to know about Huntington County and our surrounding area. So come on out. We'd love to see you out here and experience all of this wonderful town.
We are lucky enough, we're in part of the Joseph Decuis Emporium right now, where they have their own wine room, which is amazing. Then down the road, we have Two E's Winery, also amazing, love the plonk, and also love the wine slushies.
Ooh, those are pretty good. Well, you enjoy that. I'm gonna go shopping for jewelry.
See ya.
Okay.
And here we are. We are in the heart of the newest area in Huntington County for building. We are in Cardinal Creek.
We are so excited about Cardinal Creek. About 15 years ago, we developed Roanoke Village and Roanoke Bluffs. This is a new area that's connected to those, so we're excited. We have 43 lots here. Behind us is our model home. So this is going to be ready in just a couple of months. Our model home, you'll be able to stop in. And then we do have spec homes under construction as well.
It's just so exciting out here with the lots that we have, because we have some of the most beautiful pond lots. We have walkout basement lots. We have tree line lots. We have lots that are over 1/3 of an acre. We have got some beautiful, beautiful ground for you to build your custom home on.
And when you come out here, there's going to be so much to see. Like I mentioned, we have the model home, but we have 7 spec homes under construction. So we have just about everything: 3-car garages, ranches, a couple of 2-stories, and then we do have a home on a walkout basement that's finished.
This is just such an exciting time, and I'm lucky enough or blessed enough to be the one who's going to be sitting out here in Cardinal Creek, and I will have all of these homes open every single Sunday. So you're gonna be able to come out there and see all of these homes, all the different styles, all the different designs, and you can make one of these your home.
Now visit our website, graniteridgebuilders.com. You can go to Cardinal Creek there. There's a pin on the map, and that will get you right here, graniteridgebuilders.com.
And I wanted to show you this model home. There's some things going on with it right now.
Izzy, I love this plan. It's a saddle wood.
Yeah.
It's under roof. Be done probably in 60 to 90 days. And, you know, we've got a lot of homes at this stage that aren't on the market yet. But boy, when we do get them on the market, they're going to go.
Yeah, we got people inquiring about a home like this that's not yet for sale. This is what people want right now, is to get a hold of something before it gets on the market where there's bidding wars.
Right. And we've been talking about Izzy, but in this day and age, financing is so critical. And at Granite Ridge Builders, we take that very serious as we think about people's budgets and getting into a home that's affordable.
And affordability is something that's a big question right now, and that's where this USDA product is something that is really going to become even more so in demand. You know, we help probably, 80 to 100 people with something like this every year. Mm-hmm. And so this is something that's going to continue to grow in need in our communities.
Right, and we're talking about a home finance program that requires nothing down, closing costs under $2,000, and monthly payments that are actually based on the client's income.
Yep. So that the ability to base it off of your income is what makes it that affordability that we're really trying to find for our clients.
Right, and we're usually talking from $900 to $1,500 a month for a brand new home. We're talking 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom homes, homes with 3-car garages, and we're talking about homes right here in Cardinal Creek in Roanoke that qualify for this type of financing.
Great small town feel, great schools. Again, a lot of our clients have got young children in their families, and this is a great elementary school. It's been awarded many, many times. So this is a great place to be, a coveted place to be with affordable housing.
Right, in Cardinal Creek we have 40 lots, and there's about 10 or 12 that have already been spoken for. So come on down where the lots are available and let us talk to you about a new home.
All right, guys, we got to close. Why don't we close around this Rolls Royce? Yeah. This is awesome.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but I found today very, very interesting. This is an amazing, amazing town. Small town living is absolutely in. So we encourage everybody to take a look at all these small towns around you and see what they have to offer. What else do you guys like today?
I mean, I've found it fascinating, that Coil Factory. The fact that Hitler wanted to take it out in here in Roanoke was pretty interesting.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I thought an International Harvester was with that.
Yeah, right.
No. Yeah.
The other part about this whole area is we can't forget about the Huntington County Courthouse.
Oh.
That is such a pretty one, and Tony, I'm only 2 more courthouses behind you. I'll have you passed by the end of the summer.
And you gotta love that small town feel. When you come into a small community like this, you just feel that tight-knit closeness where you're walking down the street and you can say hi to your neighbor. Just love it.
And that's what we talk about, the family orientation. There's so many different things that you can do here with families, whether it's fine dining or all kinds of adventures you can take your children with.
I've had a great day here today. I had a great lunch and got a new outfit.
That's perfect.
Of course.
Well, of course, one of the big reasons we're here is the housing development that we are a part of with this community, and I love learning about all the ways we can get financing and some great areas in rural towns.
And I love our new subdivision, Cardinal Creek. Some of those lots are breathtaking as far as the view goes.
Yes, they are.
Okay, we've run out of time. Kayla, would you go ahead and close for us?
Thank you all so much for joining us today. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about who we are, what we do, and why we do what we do so well, please pick up the phone and give us a call, visit our website, or even better yet, come in our front doors. We'd love to talk to you all about where we build in the surrounding area.
And if you'd like to hire Mike, the chauffeur, feel free. Mike, take us for a ride.
Let's do this, guys.
All right, this is a good.
After you.
I think we can all get in here, can't we?
Sure.
Squeeze in.
Of course.
Welcome to Roanoke! Hey, hey! How's it going? Hey, here we go!
We made it, guys.
Oh, well, Lou!
Candy?
I didn't get one.
Wait, save the Kit Kats. I like
We want to become Grand Marshals.
Hi.
Wait.
This is our goal.
Do it over.
That's a 86.
Let's go back and do it again.
Is that what you wanted?
You weren't trying to get attention.
I got it.
Look at the pregnant lady picking up all the
Bring it back.
Throw a little bit more out.
Okay.
You were on camera, we're going to do it again.
And then it was in 1873.
They actually incorporated the town.
Yeah, I'll do that again. 1873 is all I can remember. I couldn't remember what happened.
One other delicacy is, of course, the Magalitsa Pigs. And so that's another one. If you've seen it, it's very hairy. That's probably not the best way to say it. It's very notable for the hair on its back, much like me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I can really go for a steak right about now. That's...
He can't help himself.
As soon as I put it on, I'm like, all of a sudden it comes out.
And homes right down here in Cardinal Place in Roanoke.
You want to try that again?
Like I said.
What we do and why we do. Oh gosh, my hair is in my mouth. Hold on.